Hey horror fans, thanks for joining me for this review of Girls Just Wanna Have Blood. Uh, Cast and crew information is down below, and of course, I'll start off with the IMDb plot. When Jessica's accepted by a trio of fun loving vampires, she finds herself thrust into a lifestyle full of long nights, sex crazed bikers, and blood sucking. Sounds like a good time. Um, to start, obviously, you gotta like the title. Um, Girls Just Want to Have Blood. Um, I thought maybe it would have been funner to say Girls Just Want to Suck Blood, but maybe people could take that the wrong way. But anyway, I kind of got intrigued by this one just based on the title alone. Um, Obviously, that means um, that most likely it is vampires when you just read the title. So, yes, it is vampires. Even it says that in the description. Um, Basically, this is definitely a true indie horror film here because I don't know if it says here what the budget is, but let's see. No. But it's obviously one of these movies that let's say they're not they just go for it. They know that they must know that they're not um, giving you the best special effects here or there, and but they still just go for it like if they were. Um, and I'll make reference to that in a minute. But yeah. So basically, you have a story here following Jessica, and she's having troubles at home. She comes from a poor family here. This is a poor neighborhood, and her mom is basically going out to this bar and prostituting herself out, which is a little awkward in herself because her mom's a little older, and you probably wouldn't have thought that by looking at her. No offense taken to anybody here, but you wouldn't have thought that was her profession or whatever. But that's how her mom is basically making money for them to put food on the table. And for her little baby brother as well, which is another awkward story and another reason why you'll see that this is low budget here. Um, it was I'm not gonna give it away because it was a little surprising to me, but it was also pretty funny. Didn't expect that. Um, but anyway, so again, this is low budget fun here. So if you can't handle a lower budget here or indie film here, this might not be for you. But anyway, sticking with the story here. So yeah, Jessica's having a hard time of it at home, and then even with the girls that I guess she goes to school with. There's a couple of ones that are supposed to be the blonde, pretty type or whatever. The cool girls, whatever. They make fun of her. They have this whole segment where they cut to her making fun of her, calling her specific names, which I will leave to you guys again see, and kind of doing the teenage thing there. Even though these girls maybe look like in their upper teens, if not maybe early college, it depends. Some of them look like they could still be in the teens. Some of them look like they might be in their early 20s. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, they proceed to call her all kinds of names and stuff as well. And then that's where the vampires come in. There's a group of three here who also very early in the movie you see basically seduce a guy to eventually kill him and suck his blood. I mean, I guess they were just having fun with him at the end because you again are a vampire and most likely at any point could have killed him and sucked his blood anyway. But instead, they kind of feel the need to lure him in and have a little fun, do some drinking before, and then kill him. So yeah, so you have these three vampires, which yeah, they're behind me, keeping an eye on me here, and they're up to no good. They're also, I guess, really old vampires, um, who have been around a long time, but I guess managed to be in these young bodies here, and they kind of use the fact that they're young women to lure guys in and cause their trouble in that way, and they come across Jessica, and for whatever reason they decide, instead of just killing her or whatever, let's tempt her and pull her into becoming a vampire. So, we have to spend some time there, and then they first act like they're just her friends, and then and do that kind of thing, and then eventually, yeah, it's revealed that she is a vampire, or that they are vampires, and then they convince her to become a vampire as well. Um, there's a. It, I can see this movie going off for teens, definitely. Um, you know, that is a definite direct audience here. You have it supposedly about teens in the movie, about a young girl, and then of course these young teen vampires, and then just the language that's used. It's very foul, very dirty. A lot of references to sex as well. Um, so maybe I would have just rolled with that back in in the day, but um, now that you know doesn't really do anything for me nowadays. I guess it's a sign of me getting older or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, they have just a ton of cursing and references to sex and whatever, which just was just too much. But again, these are teens, and you have a mixture of teens that don't like each other, and then you got vampires. So I guess that's what you get. So there's a interesting scene there. Of course, one of the ways these vampires try to get Jessica on their side is deciding that they would help her get rid of these girls that have been making fun of her and so forth. So there's an interesting scene there. It was a little bit of a funny scene. I guess this is also listed as a comedy, and I think you should take that as well, that it is a comedy. Not a huge comedy, but it does have its moments. And again, with the low budget indie goodness that's in this film, you can't help but laugh at some of those things as well. So kind of moving along here, Jessica becomes a vampire. They go on this big binge of basically, like I said, her mom is a prostitute, so her mom is bringing home these bikers to sleep with from this bar. And as they proceed to do that, once the mom is done with them, the vampires kind of are like, hey, what about us? They drag them in and eat them. So these bikers are starting to disappear. So you have that going on, and then you also have Jessica becoming less interested with being a vampire. So yeah, just becomes one of these films where there's a disconnect there, and she separated from being with the vampires, and so forth. And then there's the big biker gang that the boss comes back, and he's like, hey, where's all my friends? Where's all my gang members here? And yeah, they've disappeared. So long and behold, stuff moves on. They figure out there's vampires. I'm spoiling this in a way, but I don't think there's anything major here. That there's no major twist or anything that's happening here. And I'm just kind of going on with it because I keep mentioning this good indie goodness here, and it all leads to this big fight scene where with between the three vampires. Jessica's involved too, and this biker gang, where all hell breaks loose. Of course, blood is going everywhere. They're fighting. They're doing all kinds of ridiculous stuff. Like I said, here comes the indie film at you, because they're just doing stuff that shouldn't happen. the effects maybe are not great. Maybe the way things are happening in it are a little bit ridiculous, but apparently, they just have a good time with it. I'm sure that shooting the scene was fun, and they just roll with all the craziness that's happening here. So that kind of happens, and I mean, if you want to take this as a serious, non-indie film and take this in a serious manner or whatever, you can complain about all this bad special effects and bad acting and bad comedy and bad this, but I think once you grasp where this film is coming for and take it for what it is, you can lighten it up and just take it. It's hard to watch in certain points, and the acting might not be spot on here and there, and it might be a little bit of a combination of the writing here and there and so forth. But this is true indie horror right here. So you just have to take it and roll with it if you can make it all the way through this movie. I won't spoil the ending. I'd just like to throw in one other thing, that there is a guy who is hunting these vampires. He's been after them for a while, and I would say he's a unique character. He has an accent. He speaks in a weird way. Obviously, trying to be that. Maybe that Van Helsing kind of type person and speaking like that, or like he's from old Europe or something like that. I don't know. He's an interesting character, and he puts an interesting. I guess if you want to put the comedy in it, I guess he's definitely the comedy in it. I'm not gonna say too much about what he does and his role in the eventual outcome of this movie. But I would say he's an added touch to this movie as well. So overall, I think I'm just gonna give this one 2 pools of blood. Don't hold that against me, ladies. Don't suck my blood when this ends. But it is what it is. It might not be for every audience. It might be hard to watch for some people. But I think it has some elements in there, and if you take it for what it is, and not are going to be harping on the special effects or harping on too many things or being too harsh on it, I think it's okay at the end of the day. 2 pools of blood, and if you're just into the indie horror thing, check it out. I believe it should be out this May as well. And probably on DVD or digital, or both. It was okay. So 2 pools of blood, and we'll wrap this up. And as usual, horrorlsgoryreviews.blogspot.com for more reviews, including written ones. Social media down below, and feel free to comment in the comment section down below about this film, about this review. Agree or disagree, doesn't matter. Or the social media will be down below, and you can always hit me up there and let me know what you thought there as well. And if there's other movies that you want me to review or talk about, or maybe I have and you can't find it, I can point you in the right direction there as well. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up before it's dinner time for the ladies behind me, and I will catch you on the next review, horror fans.